lovelies. I had a very interesting occurrence this week and I thought I'd share with you. I was really thankful for my plant-based journey, I'll tell you that for free. So Tuesday, I go to my regular class, then I decide to do some shopping, and then I just kind of moseyed around Amish country and went shop to shop. I was looking for something specific, which I didn't find, but that's not here nor there. Anyway, because of all my running around, I ran out my phone battery. And I didn't have a charger in the car. I got home and I had 10% battery and no power. I had a child that needed to be picked up and she normally calls when she's ready, which couldn't happen, of course, because my phone was going dead. So I took care of all of my proper texts to be sure she was taken care of, that she knew to call her brother knew she'd be calling, my husband knew not to call to tell me he was coming home and when to expect him, and all of that. Anyway, I had to think about dinner. So one of the phone calls that I made was to the power company, of course, to find out approximately what time they expected power to be back on. And they said around 5:30. Well, I generally start cooking long before that because I want dinner to be ready at 5:30. So I had to be creative. Luckily, I had prepared for this. We know that power outages are inevitable. It's not a matter of if power will go out, but when and for how long. I have lived in places in the past that had very cold winters, and I knew when we bought this house that I needed a wood stove and I needed one for backup for heat as well as cooking. So as soon as we moved in and were able to, we took care of that. So I had the fun time of cooking dinner on a wood stove for the very first time on Tuesday night. So I grabbed my great big cast iron Dutch oven and I filled it with potatoes, onions, carrots, celery, lentils, and a bunch of spices and some water, of course. And I put it on the stove and I covered it with, I didn't have a cover for that pot, so I took my big skillet, turned it upside down and used that as a cover. And it took about a half an hour really for everything to be done, stoking up the fire. And I was quite impressed, so it was really fun. And I had purchased an antique coffee percolator and it was just for show. It was something I bought because I thought it was cute and wanted it just for show on the wood stove, and I put it to use. Normally, when my husband comes home, I fix him a cup of tea to go with his dinner. And tonight, just to see if the percolator worked, and I kind of used it as a double thing. I figured if the coffee was percolating, I knew it was boiling. And if I knew it was boiling, then I knew my soup was boiling without having to keep taking off that great big skillet that was quite heavy. So it was kind of a twofer. So just once he had coffee instead of tea, but I used it as kind of a gauge to see how things were going. So it all turned out really nice, and I learned a new skill, and I know now that should winter turn really bad and we are without power, I can whip up a dinner really easily. And I think being plant-based made that a lot easier. Have a good day, guys.